Hi everybody, welcome back once again to the Eastfield Gunroom YouTube channel, and in homage to the British summertime, as it's raining once again, today we're going to look at an all-weather shotgun. So when I say all-weather, what I actually mean is a shotgun with a laminate stock. So today's star of the show is the Browning 525 SL, or Sporter Laminate as is his full name. So before we take a closer look at the gun, I just want to thank everybody for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. So if you are watching and you haven't already done either of those things, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel, because it all helps to support the channel and keep it going. So what this is essentially is the new kid on the block of the 525 range. So this gun was launched back in 2019, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was 2019. And what Browning did is they kind of, in my opinion, looked at what was a bit of a stagnated market in the shotgun industry. Everything's got, you know, engraving on it, everything's got standard wooden stocks, whereby we were tending to see more and more, particularly in the rifle and the air rifle industry, people using more different types of stocks, like laminates, like synthetics. And Browning thought, you know what, let's have a go at that. We've already got synthetic stocks and laminate stocks in our rifle range, let's put one on a shotgun. Now, to give you a little bit of an idea of how groundbreaking-ish this was, if you go back a few years before that, the first actual shotgun I can remember with a laminate stock was a Winchester. It was the Select Laminate. Obviously, Winchester here in the UK comes under the same umbrella as Browning, although Winchester shotguns are sadly no longer made. That's something we'll come on to in another video, I am sure. So the Select Laminate was built to a much lower price than something like this 525. The quality of the laminate was poor, the gun didn't handle well, the foreends cracked. So this is a massive, massive improvement. I think they learned their lesson from the Select, and you can currently still buy one of these today, and they are still a popular gun. So starting off with the action, not dissimilar to the current 525S. We have done a video on that. I think it was a versus video versus a Miracle MK38, so do check that out. So we've got this very minimal, modern brush finish action with very, very limited detail. So we've got 525 SL, which, like I said at the start of the video, stands for Sporter Laminate. So we've got the Browning bookmark, not the thing you put in the pages of a book. On the bottom, you've got 525 SL, Browning bookmark again on the trigger, 525 SL on the other side. If we go on to the back strap, it's a standard 525. It's got this little perforated checkedy bit on the top lever, nothing on the back strap, completely plain. And on the underneath, again, we've got a polished trigger guard. The whole, everything furniture-wise on this gun is the same look and the same design, so the flow is very, very good. And also, because the essence of this gun is the fact that it's an all-weather tool, they haven't gone to town on the engraving because the gun just doesn't need it. Adjustable polished trigger, standard 525 tackle again. And then we move on to the important bit, if you like. So these were available in 30 and 32-inch variants. For this review, I've picked a 30-inch because I feel it's kind of a bit more generic, from my opinion, of what kind of market the gun is aimed at. So we've got 30-inch barrels, backboard 18.7. So any kind of 525, current one, Ultra XS Pro, MK38, all 18.7 board, all Invector Plus chokes, and all, as with this one, are 3-inch chambers. Superior steel shot proof, as you would expect with everything these days. Like I said, Invector Plus chokes, ventilated top rib, 10mm, parallel, tram line, centre bead, ventilated barrels. Slight difference on the end of this compared to the standard 525 Sporter 1, in that we've got a series of the Midas extended Invector Plus chokes, so the black ones with the gold on. Someone's put this god-awful caterpillar on the end, but the good news is I think the original Foresight beads are still in the case. Just my opinion on these particular Foresight beads, which are designed as an eye dominance aid. I'm not a huge fan, but they do work for some people depending on how severe your eye dominance is, and that's always been my opinion, and that always will be. So yeah, I've got a centre bead as well as the caterpillar on the end, ventilated barrels, ventilated top rib, nothing on the barrel wings, completely polished, again the same as the standard 525S. Now, one of the criticisms I've always had of the Browning 525 Sporter is from a clay point of view. If you watch the 525 versus Silver Pigeon video, I believe it's a little bit too light, because the majority of those Sporters come in at sort of 710, 712. And for me, really, a sporting clay shotgun in 30-inch should be a minimum of about £8, maybe slightly under. So the good thing with this is, of course, It's going to be heavier because it's got laminate furniture, and essentially, if you're not aware of this, laminate is bits of wood that are stuck together, and that will add more density to the furniture of the shotgun. So this particular gun in 30-inch weighs 8 pounds 8 ounces. In terms of the balance, pretty good. Pretty much on the hinge pin. If you did that with a standard 525, you tend to find they tend to be a little bit barrel heavy. So obviously they require a little bit more weight towards the back end. So onto the furniture itself, which is the whole purpose of this gun. It's designed to look different. It's designed to be all weather. They've recently launched a 525 composite, which is a gun I'm sure we'll look at the channel in the not too distant future. There's quite a few new features on that gun that again make it a little bit different for everything else that's available currently on the market. So onto the actual wood itself. So if we start with the checker rim, double point, standard 525 kind of gear, if you like. Feels good in the hand. It's probably a little bit thicker than the standard 525 stock because of obviously the manufacturing process of the wood. I haven't actually measured it, but it just feels a little bit nicer to me when I pick the gun up and subsequently mount it. Nice smart grey laminate. Now at the start of the video I talked about the Winchester Select laminate. Now the quality of the laminate on a particular gun was far inferior to what you've got here on the Browning. This is very solid, very nicely put together, not offensive to look at. You know, you look at some rifles that have got like brown stocks and green stocks and I sort of go, ugh. Whereas this, for what it's designed for, which is all-weather clay shooting, it actually fits the remit perfectly, in my opinion. Factory adjustable comb. Now, if you watch the adjustable comb video, this is the latest style Browning adjustable comb. It's the one you get on the XS Pro. It's the one you get on the current 525, I believe. The previous adjustable comb system, which was about 2019, which is when this gun was actually launched, you've got two grub screws on the side of the comb, and it's just not as good. You don't get enough adjustment out of it. It doesn't go high enough, and inevitably you end up with problems with it. If you are going to buy a Browning with a factory adjustable comb, get the later version, which adjusts through the back. And that brings me on to the back end of the stock. So we've got a Browning Inflex 2 recoil pad with the hole in the back to adjust the comb. With the comb, we've got windage and elevation in terms of the movement. One thing I will say, just before I go back to the pad, is there is a good bit of height on this gun. If I mount it where the comb is now, we've still got some adjustment. I've got a good sight picture, and I could probably go even higher with the possibility of using this for maybe a little bit of DTL. And let's not forget that at 8 pounds 8 ounces, it's probably heavy enough to shoot a bit of trap as well. To the pad, standard, this is a 20mm one. You probably know from previous videos, we can get a 25mm pad, you can get a 12mm pad, and spaces in between. And again, with most Brownings, you tend to get a longer stock as standard than some other, particularly Italian guns. We have got 15 inches with the trigger in the middle position, with of course the trigger being adjustable with 3 positions on all Browning Miracle. It's standard gear again. So Inflex recoil pad. Moving on to the fore end, same colour grey laminate as the stock, which is what you'd expect. And what you've got to remember is, because when shotguns are manufactured, it's down to someone to look at the stock and match the fore end to it, which is quite a difficult job. Obviously with this, you're going to have a very uniform setup, because at the end of the day, it's bits of wood that are stuck together, glued together and lacquered. Plain, nothing on the fore end catch, schnabel fore end, double point checker in. And like I said, from a clay shooting point of view, this is for me a better gun than the standard 525 because it's got that extra weight. You could argue that 8 pounds 8 ounces is a little bit heavy for a standard 30-inch sporter, but what it does, and I've shot quite a few of these, is it makes it a very smooth gun to shoot. And if you don't like recoil, and if you don't like shooting in the sun in your t-shirt and shorts, then this is the gun for you. That in essence is the gun. It is still a current model from Browning. Here in the UK, you can go to a Browning dealer and buy one, like I said, 30 or 32 inch. Incidentally, they are also available in left-hand specification. I do know, however, that they're not available throughout the world, particularly in America. These are unobtainable, but it's not impossible to get hold of one. So, you know, feel free to contact us and we'll help you if we can. So moving on to the case, the all-weather box, right? This is a standard Browning blown plastic, bought 10 million in the 90s and still getting through them, ABS case. We have got the obligatory egg box foam in here. We have got something which is quite interesting because you don't get it with every single Browning. This is a stop bolt tool. I've said on many videos, if you want to prolong the life of your shotgun stock, periodically you need to wang this up the back and give it a twist. Before you start screaming at your iPhones, iPads, televisions, whatever you're watching us on, I know it's a laminate stock, but ultimately, if it did go loose, you would still be able to potentially crack it around the trigger guard. So we've got a stop bolt tool. We've got the usual guff, which comprises of the proof certificate. So the gun has been proofed in Belgium. We have got 1,500 gram barrels, which again, if you watch the channel regularly, you'll know that that's a particular favorite for me in terms of a 30-inch barrel gun, about 1,500 grams in the barrels. 1320 bar, which is the proof. It's magnum proofed, it's fleur-de-lis, it's steel shot proof. So again, not just a clay gun here, very versatile. You know, you could take this rough shooting, pigeon shooting, have it in a pigeon hide, because you can have it regardless of what the weather is. You can lay it on the floor. It won't mark as easily as a conventional softwood, if you like, shotgun. Take it on the foreshores. We've already said that it's very smooth to shoot. You can put some big shells in it. You can go goose shooting. It's much more than just a sporting shotgun. Book of words. This is how you put the forend on. Don't shoot your mates, all that kind of stuff. We've got a nice cardboard box in here. And there are the additional chokes rattling around, which are the Midas chokes, like I said, Invector Plus. They're quite a nice long choke. Again, we talk about steel quite often on this channel. If you are going to shoot steel through this particular gun, you should recognize that you shouldn't really use anything tighter, as a maximum of half choke. If you watch the choke video we did recently, my recommendation would be to go even lower than that. Shoot cylinder and quarter, or even better, get yourself an extra quarter and then you shoot quarter in each barrel. T-bar choke key, obviously Browning got to deal with them in the boxes, buy one get one free, because we've seen them for generations as well. We've got the Allen key for the stock and the Allen key for the trigger. I am just very quickly going to show you how to adjust the stock. And in here we have got the packaging for the Caterpillar packaging, which I think has got the original Foresight bead, which incidentally is a little fibre optic yellow light pipe. So just quickly how to adjust the stock. You can see it's caught in a raised position. It's also got a degree of cast, which would say to me that the previous owner of this shotgun was quite tall and reasonably broadish, but you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you whether that's true or not. So what we do is we get the Allen key, stick it through the hole in the back of the pad, which is a really good system. Like I've said, this Browning system, it definitely works. I'd quite like to see it in the Miracle line of guns. I think they do use it in the limited edition grade 3 MK38. Slacken it off, and then the comb will literally go wherever you want it to go. So you can push it down, push it across, and then it is simply a case of tightening it back up. They don't come with any spacers, but they will accept different manufacturer space. If you've got a Beretta or you've got one of our adjustable comb systems, for example, you will be able to use spacers just as a reference point for removal of the comb and cleaning, etc. So that has been the Browning 525 Sport Laminate from me, Matthew Morgan at Eastfield Gunroom. Big fan of this. I like the fact that it's low recoil, makes it very versatile. It's not just a clay gun. You can take it out in all weathers. Like I've said, it's August and it's flipping peeing down here. And also on top of that, I haven't mentioned this, but you've got that Japanese reputation, reliability, dependability. It is genuinely a gun for all. Thanks for watching. Got any questions about this particular gun, do contact me directly. Email is on the screen. Don't forget to check out the website. Don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe button if you haven't done already, please, because it does help us bring you fantastic content like this. And I'll see you again soon.